Here on set with me to debrief that speech is our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, the message there from the German Chancellor was that the support for Ukraine from Berlin is designed to last.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's on script. He's on the NATO/EU/US/Ukrainian allies playbook, and he hasn't diverged too far from it. Look, I mean, the notable things from this, if you have to search for a few new nuggets, and there was no major breakthrough announcement, he did talk about, trying to stand solid shoulder to shoulder with NATO in its defense and security, no ifs, ands, or buts. So trying to be categorical that Germany is very much foursquare behind NATO in its defense and NATO's allies' defense and support of Ukraine. He had a few notable lines. First of all, he said early on that this is the first time in history when a nuclear power is waging, and these were his words, an imperialist war of aggression here on European soil. So it's a very stark statement, but it really puts everything in perspective because, as we know, when he says, he invokes the fact that Russia's a nuclear power, and that's not for naught because Putin on many occasions has not so implicitly, almost explicitly wielded the nuclear menace, so to speak. No, he hasn't said, we are going to drop a nuclear bomb on you if you do this, but we have heard a lot of nuclear mongering, if you will, on Russia's state-controlled media, among the right-wing military bloggers, among some of the right-wing shock jocks, if you will, and talk show hosts on Russian state TV, and they've been really empowered and encouraged to speak out and use this sort of nuclear card a lot by Vladimir Putin himself, who has always let it be known at every critical juncture in this conflict, whenever the pressure was ramping up on Putin, or the sanctions were ramping up, or the weapon supplies from NATO and its allies were ramping up, towards Ukraine. Putin has time and again invoked the fact, reminded, if you will, the West, by the way, we have nuclear weapons, without explicitly saying, and we're about to use them. So that, I think, was a significant statement, using an imperialist war of aggression. So all wrapping into that one phrase, all of the themes that we know about, that this is an unprovoked war by one man, and telling his commanders basically to invade a country that this other country believes by sovereign right they have a right to. He did announce that he is going to up the defense expenditure of Germany to 2% of GDP, of the country's economy, the gross domestic product, which is, he's said it before, but he's sort of clamping down on that, and he's trying to send the signal that Germany, obviously, because of its history post-World War II, it minimized its defense. It minimized, it wouldn't deploy forces abroad. It wouldn't put a lot of money into its defense industry for obvious reasons, its military. That is now, Germany is solidly in line with the rest of the NATO members in that pledge of 2% support. And finally, calling on allies to do what now Germany has done, which is to supply battle tanks, and saying we will help them to do so if they're ready to.
And just very briefly, Doug, before Scholz spoke, we also heard from the Ukrainian leader, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yeah. And his message was also, if nothing but consistent. It's the one he's been hammering away at in every single forum he's spoken to. And that is, we cannot afford not a second of delay in the delivery of weapons. We are facing an imminent assault. Assaults are underway from Russia, and we need everything we can get, and we need it yesterday. So once again, making it clear, it is incumbent on the allies, not just in words, but in deeds, to make sure they pull out all stops to get those supplies to Ukraine in the here and now, real time, so the battle can be joined on the battlefield.
Okay, Douglas Herbert, thank you very much.